So I've been doing laundry now for about a decade with this hand wash laundry bag. It's called the Scrubba, and it's got a flexible washboard in the back of it. So what you can do is after you get your suds all done up in your wash bag here, you just take your clothes, throw them in there, get them a little wet, and then you can scrub them along the flexible washboard. And it's pretty surprising how clean this little bag can get your laundry. I've been shocked with it. So it takes a couple minutes for the wash cycle and then also the rinse cycle. And what I do is every time I do laundry, I don't waste any of the water at all. So the water goes into either tree basins to water the trees or into one of the swale areas to help increase groundwater storage. And here's kind of like a view looking into just how dirty some of the laundry can get, but it gets it super clean. So I'm real pleased with using this little wash bag. It's really effective. And I have had some people mention that I shouldn't put any soapy water into like the trees or the plants or anything like that. But I've found it works just fine as long as you follow up the soapy water with the rinse cycle, and that way it kind of dilutes the soap. And the trees that I've been working on around here, they look great, and I've been real pleased with how they bounce back, because when I first started working on the pine trees around my place, they were in bad shape. A lot of them were kind of overshadowed by the juniper trees. As I've trimmed back the tree branches, the pine trees started to come alive because they were getting exposed to a lot more sun. And then I've just continued using any gray water or water that I use to wash my clothes and stuff like that. Continue just putting it in these basins all the time. And I typically do laundry a couple times a week. That laundry bag's pretty small, so I can only do a couple of pieces of garment at a time. But you can get, I would say, pretty much all your laundry done, the small stuff, without doing any comforters or anything like that. You can easily get all your small stuff done with the scrubber washing bag. So been real pleased to have this. It's awesome to take with you truck camping. And here's an example of the pine trees that I'm working on at my place. When I first started with these trees, almost all of them were pretty much on their way out. They looked really bad. And now, like I mentioned, as I've trimmed back the juniper branches from different trees that were overshadowing them, these are all bouncing back in grand fashion. And I counted the amount of pine trees that I have on the upper portion of my property where I'm working on, like basically building out my living spaces. I counted 252 pine trees this morning. So I've got a lot to work with here, and that's why I want to turn this area into a pine forest like it was in the past. What's up, sweetie? You helped me out this morning, gnawing on those branches. All right, hey, what's up, everybody? It's Friday morning, and I want to show you what I've been up to the past couple of days. I went over here, and you probably saw in the pictures, I created a little hand dug swale. It's small, maybe about, 7 feet across, something like that. And I tied it in with a little irrigation ditch that I lined with stones here. And that's what we've got on this right here. This comes down from the top of the roof, the front of the awning here. I've got a container in the back, which I'll show you in just a second, which is the container that I'm going to use for water catchment on the back for the garden area. But this water catchment up here is gonna be caught down here. I'm making it like a little area that catches it, if you can see right here, where the water comes off the roof here. I'm going to line it all with stones here so that it kind of stays consistent. But what happens is the water will drip here and drain that way. And I want it to come around here with this little channel that I've built, and then come around this way and then down into the water catchment there. Now I'm going to make this a lot bigger down here, and that's why I've started to remove this bush, and then I'm going to remove the cactus as well. And if you see here, I removed this bush the other day. That's what all this debris is right here. And you can just see how much mass that is. It's just tons of biomass. But luckily, when that dries out, that burns really good in the wood-fired hot tub. And that's what I've been using to get rid of everything around here is the fire pit. I mean, it's taken me a couple years to get this place like this. And I'm really pleased, though. It's starting to look really good around here. And I really like using these stones to line the areas where I'm, you know, wanting the water to kind of, or the soil to stay at bay, because what happens is when it gets all wet, the soil gets real pliable and will just kind of go in there and fill that in real easily. Well, if you put stones on the side of it here, what happens is the water just goes through the bottom part of the channel, but it doesn't erode the sides of it at all. So if anything, the soil just goes downhill and we'll fill that in a tad bit. But we're gonna make this bigger down in this section. Probably, I would say maybe on the back side here, maybe triple that as far as height goes, and then dig it way out up to, like, let me back up here. Dig it out up to like probably this area here. So tie it in across that way, and then dig all this out. Make it pretty deep in here so where the water really goes in and stays. But I've done a couple test runs. You can see how the water flows through here. Then it pools right down in this area, which is exactly what I want. And then down here is where I'm going to plant the fruit trees. And so we're going to start out with cherry trees, apple trees, and pear trees. And those will be really nice to have. Just the cherry trees alone, just the flowers on them when they start flowering before, you know, making the fruit is just beautiful. Here, what I'm going to do is, this is like the little, let me show you. Well, no, let's back up. It's the little fence that I made. And I've got a bunch of other tree branches over there that I downed from a tree probably last year, I think. I'm gonna bring them over here and stack it up higher and make this fence, give it a little more privacy, because once I knock out this bush right here, they can kind of see into where my camper is a little bit. But I think it's gonna work out well in the long run, because this is where the trees will be. Right here where I'm standing will be where the fruit trees are, and it's gonna block all this and give me privacy, you know, from like the road down here. Because there's the road. You see right there, got a little bit of a section there and a little section there, and then a tiny section right there where they can see into my place. And just want to kind of just make a little security for myself and, you know, just have some privacy. Okay, so let's go ahead and knock this out today. And goal is to take all this out and then get the cactus out of here too. And see where we're at in about an hour. All right, here we are Saturday morning and getting ready to take off to go to Prescott. We're going to Prescott's Paws and Claws today. They're having a fundraiser for search and rescue, and I donated a fridge to it, a Dometic fridge for the raffle for part of the fundraiser. So we're heading out there, going to be there for the day, and then probably take off, you know, mid-afternoon once the event gets over. And it's like a Christmas in July event. I guess there's some guy that comes who's Santa Claus, and he's Santa Claus year-round. Like, he doesn't ever break character, which you gotta love people like that. But I wanted to show you just kind of what I've been doing here and what we got accomplished yesterday. So I'm going to increase the swale, the depth of it. So we're going to come over here and knock out more of that and build up the back wall a little bit more, like I was saying yesterday. And everything worked out real well. And I'm real pleased with like how much of the debris that I was able to clear here. So let's go up here and I'll flip the camera on and I'll show you what kind of my view is like now. It's a lot more open, looking out towards the ridge behind me. So this is my view now. This is going down into the little swale area. And then I've got my fence over there. You see my fence right, that, and I'm going to add to that. So that's our plan. probably first part of the week is get that knocked out, and then we got to take the truck in on Wednesday, get a bunch of stuff done to get ready for the camper. And yeah, so we got a kind of a busy week ahead of us here. So, all right, let's get heading to Prescott. Thanks, sweet girl. You got all your toys back there? You got your little chew toys? Good to go? All right. All right, next stop, Prescott. Stopped off at REI real quick to pick up the pneumatic fridge. This is one of the raffle prizes that we had for the Prescott Paws and Claws Canine Search and Rescue Team fundraising event. So it went great. We had Christmas in July. This guy is Santa Claus. Like I said, this guy doesn't break character at all. This is Scout. Scout is one of the lead dogs for the canine unit. And then here's the whole canine unit as a whole. So thanks for tuning in.